So I'm Natalie, I'm Aurora's Pilates and yoga teacher. So welcome to another day of 12 days of mind and body fitness. So for today we've got an abdominal exercise which is called the boat pose from yoga. So it looks very similar to a Pilates exercise as well, and sometimes it can be used in Pilates just known by a different name. So in Pilates generally you'll have repetition based exercises, whereas in yoga you tend to hold exercises for a certain number of breaths. So it's a little bit different. Okay, so without further ado, this is boat pose. So I do recommend with this one that you're a little bit warm before you come into this, just purely because we're starting to focus on contracting the muscles. And so you want those muscles to be already warm really before you come into this. So just be mindful, if you've got any back problems, then do be mindful, come out of the posture if you get any backache in this exercise. So coming into it, we're going to start with a nice generous bend in the knees and keep the feet at the floor. So having the hands out in front, and then we're going to slowly lower, so really pressing the bottom in towards the mat and just sending the chest back a little bit, tucking that pelvis under. So we're coming back to what we call the edge. So really finding that edge so that you'll know you've reached it when you start to feel a little bit of a pull in the abdominals, maybe a little bit of a shake as well. So you could just hold this and just focus on breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, or you could try some Pilates breathing here if you wanted. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. That's it. So holding for a certain number of breaths or a certain number of counts. So whatever you fancy really, just holding it here. And then once you've had enough, really pull that belly button in and up a little bit more, and then bring that pelvis up and forward back to center. So that's our option one. And best to keep the feet down as well if you have trouble with your back. But if your back is nice and healthy, you can come into the next one. So we get to it from exactly the same position. So we're coming back, we're pulling that belly button in and up, and then using the hands, we're going to lift each leg up. So it's a bit of a balance exercise because you're sitting on your seat bones here and balancing, and you've also got the legs. So the arms are taking the weight of the legs because they're quite heavy. So this just helps to support the hip flexors. And if you're not used to this kind of posture, keeping the chest nice and proud, belly in and up, and legs up off the floor, then those hip flexors can take quite a lot of load. So if that's enough for you, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, take the support of the hands away, and that really kicks in. Hold it there and hold it for as long as you can. If you've got any pain in your back, feet must come down. That's it. Holding for as long as you like, and then bringing the hands back to the legs and taking the feet back down to the floor. So a good counter stretch after that exercise I find is bringing the soles of the feet together. So this is a bound angle or cobbler's pose. So you could just sit nice and tall with this, but I personally find coming forward into a little forward fold can feel quite nice as well, just easing off those hip flexors for me. So always good to find a stretch that works well for your body. That's it, and just staying for a couple of breaths. And then gently bring it back up to center. And namaste. Thank you for joining me for another exercise on our 12 days of mind and body fitness. And I'll see you tomorrow.